So, you're looking to get a handle on your finances and finally start paying off debt this year? You've probably heard all the classic advice, right? But what if that common wisdom is, well, kind of missing some really crucial details? We're about to dig into 3 under-the-radar tips from financial planners that could totally change your strategy for 2026. I mean, you've heard this a million times. It's the number one rule we all hear, repeated everywhere. And it seems so logical, so simple. Find the loan with that big, scary interest rate and just throw every spare dollar you have at it. But is it really always the smartest move? Yeah, not so fast. That simple advice is actually a little too simple. It completely overlooks these massive factors that can change the math on what your debt is actually costing you. We're talking about things like tax benefits, transfer fees, and even whether the thing you bought is gaining or losing value. Okay, so our first tip is all about reframing the problem. Before you can even start to attack your debt, you really need to understand what you're dealing with. Because according to certified financial planner Scott Sturgeon, not all debt is created equal. This approach splits everything into 2 pretty simple categories. You've got your less ideal debt, which is tied to something that's dropping in value, think about your car, or has a crazy high interest rate, like most credit cards. Then there's necessary debt. This is debt you used for something that can actually grow in value, like your house, or could generate future income, like student loans. So here's the big move. Stop looking only at interest rates. The first thing you should do is categorize your loans and then, you guessed it, prioritize paying down that less ideal debt. We're talking about the car loans and the credit cards that are tied to things losing value over time. And I think this is such an important point from Scott Sturgeon. It is so easy to feel overwhelmed by all this. But it's really crucial to remember, the whole system is designed to make borrowing incredibly easy, almost frictionless. So just take a breath, get organized, and don't let any guilt get in the way of making a smart plan. Okay, so once you've targeted that less ideal debt, then you can choose your method of attack. You've probably heard of these 2. The avalanche method focuses on the highest interest rate, which is going to save you the most money over time. But the snowball method, where you pay off the smallest balance first, that can give you these huge psychological wins that keep you motivated. You get to choose which one works best for your brain. All right, on to our second underrated tip, and this is a big one that almost everyone overlooks: the hidden impact of taxes. This is all about looking beyond that advertised interest rate to find the real cost of your debt. Let's just look at this super practical example. Say you've got a car loan at 7% and a mortgage at 6.5%. Now, on the surface, the car loan looks more expensive, right? But, and this is so key, mortgage interest is often tax deductible. Car loan interest, not so much. That tax break can actually make the true cost of your mortgage lower than your car loan, even though its rate looks smaller. And this quote from CFP Marianne Gucciardi just nails it. The money you're using to pay that 7% car loan has already been taxed. That means the real hit to your bottom line, your actual take-home pay, is way higher. It's a really powerful reason to think about prioritizing debt that doesn't give you any tax perks. And that brings us perfectly to our third and final underrated tip: using the right tools to really accelerate your progress. If you're specifically struggling with that high-interest credit card debt, this one is absolutely for you. Let's talk about the balance transfer. Now, hold on. Before we go any further, there is one pretty big requirement. This strategy really only works for those with a solid credit history, which usually means a FICO score of 670 or higher. That's what you're going to need to qualify for those really great 0% introductory APR offers. So if you do qualify, don't just jump in. You've got to run this simple 3-step check first. Number 1, confirm you can actually get a good 0% APR offer. 2, do the math. These cards almost always have a transfer fee, so you have to be sure the interest you'll save is way more than what you'll pay in that fee. And 3, this is non-negotiable. Set a hard deadline. You have to have a rock-solid plan to pay off the entire balance before that 0% intro period ends and the rate suddenly skyrockets. What I love about this quote from CFP Burke Sestock is how it positions the balance transfer. See, it's not a separate strategy, it's a booster for your existing strategy. By hitting pause on the interest for, say, 12, 18, or even 21 months, you can use the avalanche or snowball method to make some huge accelerated progress on the actual principal balance. It's like a superpower. So there we have it. We've covered 3 really powerful, underrated ideas. Now let's pull them all together into a single, cohesive master plan for 2026. Here it is, your new smarter debt payoff checklist. First, you prioritize. Forget just looking at the interest rate. Target that less ideal debt first. Second, you calculate. Look beyond the sticker price of the loan and compare the true after-tax cost. And finally, you accelerate. Use powerful tools like a balance transfer to supercharge your progress. This is how you build a plan that's actually tailored to your real financial picture. At the end of the day, you're now armed with a much more nuanced way to think about your debt. It's not about one simple rule anymore. So the real question is, which of these expert tips is going to make the biggest difference for you? How are you going to rewrite your own debt story this year?